Good afternoon, everybody. This is our mic check. If you can see us, if you can hear us, give us a thumbs up so we will know everything is working properly, and we will begin promptly at 3 o'clock. Good afternoon again, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on the Dade County Weekly Update. We have a few guests today, so we will start quickly. Remember, if there's something that you would like us to talk about, please send us an email at info@dadecounty-ga.gov, and we will try to address that. Thanks for coming to the right place for the right information. Today, we'll be hearing from Chad Payne, who's the Public Information Officer with the Dade County Sheriff's Office, Carolyn Hixon with the Board of Elections, and Dade County Executive Ted Rumley. If you know somebody who would be interested in hearing from any of our guests today, go ahead and invite them to watch this live broadcast or start a watch party so you can hold your own discussion. Remember that you can also watch this later on Facebook or YouTube, and sharing links to the videos and our pages that we're going to share is super easy, so you can do that while you're watching. So we will go ahead and start with Carolyn Hixon with the Board of Elections, as we do have a new election coming up.
We're always glad that you're interested in elections. It's an ongoing year-round issue to get everything ready and prepared and be ready for these elections. So now we're ready to start in the runoff election. It's early voting time beginning Monday. You'll be voting absentee in person, or just come right in here to the Commissioner's meeting room, show your ID, fill out your voter registration, and get your voter's card and go ahead and vote. I brought a sample, and I have no idea how this operates, except that there are only 3 races on this particular ballot. So if you can see it, great. If not, then I'll explain it to you here just a little bit. This is a Republican ballot. There will not be a Democratic ballot this time, because no Democrats ended up in a runoff situation where they had needed some extra votes. So this is what the ballot is going to look like, except it won't be yellow if you're looking at it in color. So this is what you'll be voting on when you come in beginning July the 20th. Early voting will run through August the 7th, and then we have election August the 11th. Of course, you'll use your government-issued photo ID, and it is required. Acceptable forms are Georgia driver's license, even if it is expired, a passport, state school, permit to carry a firearm, or a tribal card. Now, all Fridays, remember that the building closes at 2, and so do we. We follow that procedure. This is a primary runoff election. That means that you're choosing to support either a Democrat or a Republican candidate that needs a larger percentage than they were able to receive in the June 9th election. There are no Democrats on this ballot. We have 3 races, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Board of Education. And it seems that a runoff does not stir a lot of excitement or interest. and the voter turnout is usually dismally low. So this is a time when each one of you need to realize that your vote really does count. Absentee ballots are already being received, filled out, and returned to the elections office. The drop box again in front of the administrative building is at your disposal. Drop your completed and signed, and if you just check it one more time before you drop it off, sometimes that saves you a trip back. You just drop it in there, no postage needed. Now, I wanted to add one little thing, just to look back at a little bit. I want to say that the Dade County election, June the 9th, was very successful for Dade County. The problems that seem to plague other parts of the states, some of those were in our day's proceedings, but most of the time they were handled quickly. Our poll officers have cool heads. They had quite a bit of training, and the massive problems that plagued others just didn't seem to slow our poll workers down. I can't say enough about the poll workers that we have that in our precincts in Dade County. And I often tell people, if it weren't for the little gray-headed ladies that get up at 4 o'clock and go open the polls, America could not vote. So if you're interested in becoming one of those little gray-headed ladies, we'll receive you anytime. One thing that I want to close with, ample time to register. If you have not voted in a long, long time, or if you think you're not a registered voter, just come on in and we'll get you registered. Now that will close. It'll shut down 45 days before the election, so don't put it off. But come in, fill out your voter registration card, and we'll be ready to face November. Thank you.
The sheriff's office will be here very late.
Chad's running a little late, is that right?
I think it's actually going to be talking.
All right. We'll go ahead and go into my talking points here today. Start with, I want to mention the project out on Lookout Mountain, the Lookout Lake Dam. It's really going good. This week we're getting all the silt fence and all the tree grubbing on the side of the dam taken care of. Had a call from our pipe supplier. The piping will be in here week after next, but that'll give us all next week to do the actual digging and excavating for the box culvert and also the siphoning pipe. The water level was a big topic the other night at commission meeting. I mentioned that a little while. Well, this morning I think we talked about it a little bit. But if we go by our grade shots the way it is right now, there's going to be very little difference in the level of the water once we're finished and we walk away from it. It's going to be brought back up. So if you see what it is now, it's going to be probably 3 inches different. Probably that's just what it's showing right now. We'll know more, of course, about it when we bring it back up to the Category 2 dam level, but right now that's what it looks like. So it's really good. Larry Moore was out there with me yesterday with Anna Allen and Billy and I. We were actually discussing the game plan and all. So we probably will not close the road until we may close it Monday morning. I'll let you know for sure. Probably tomorrow we'll announce it over the weekend, but it'll be either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We just don't want to close it a day that we don't need to, because once it's closed and we cut that road into it, it'll be closed till we finish. So just bear with us out there. And we also, our millage rate, we'll have a meeting July the 30th to adopt our millage rate. There's no tax increase this year. Thank goodness for that. You can thank all your constitutional officers, your elected officials, sheriff, and everyone that works with us, the commissioners on the budget. They're very conservative with your money, and so we're proud to say that you tax. The only we don't control the school board. They will be we'll have our meeting at 6:30. They'll be having theirs at 6 on the millage rate. And I haven't heard this year what they're doing. They could go up or down or whatever. I don't know. That's totally a different entity. But that's as far as the Dade County Commission, Dade County government, our taxes, the millage rate, it's not going up. We also will have, as of Monday, Paula Stallings that retired from the school. She actually decided to help out with this, and she went down to the regional commission this past week, and actually she finished today. I talked to her on the phone, and she is actually went through some training as a grant coordinator for our dislocated worker. It's a dislocated worker grant, and what that is, if you've actually been either laid off or some way your life has been changed from due to the COVID-19, the epidemic going on, you possibly may qualify for a part-time position with county government or through the government. It could be school system, could be anything between the government, because they've got a program going. And Paula, she's going to be here. Here, let me see what our hours are going to be here. Okay, she'll be from 10 until 3, beginning Monday. And she'll probably be here, I guess, probably Monday through Friday. We'll let you know more about that. But 10 till 3. And right now you can call our office here to get information on it, 657-4625, area code 706, or Carey, she'll put all this online. And so it may be something you want to look into. Not sure how long the jobs will last, but she'll take your information if you qualify, and it can be for one of a number of things, So it's Paula Solin. She'll be here after Monday, and right here at the commission office. You can come in our office. We'll show you where she's at. Now later on in the week, we'll probably get her a direct number of her own, and we'll give that out probably Thursday, where you can call directly in to her and get a little information before you even come over. Excuse me. County Road 6, I do want to touch on that because it's a well-traveled road in the county, and kind of a hot topic. We have got to start this dam project next week, and we're going to hope to get into it maybe a couple weeks or so, and then we're going to we pull some of our men off, and we'll go out there and get started on the road going down in the bottom side of that. And once we do that and get to a point, that road will be shut down for quite a while. We've got a pretty big project on it, but we're going to go in and build a wall just like we did up on the upper side of it. And so it could be down for a couple of months, if not through the fall. But we'll keep you up on that. But there again, we don't want to shut that road down until we have to, because once it's closed, it'll be shut down. There won't be any traffic going through it. Carey, I guess you're going to touch on the census in a little while. Maybe you're going to talk about it a little bit. They want to mention our driver's services. They will be here next Monday. If you need to renew your license or can't renew some for some reason over the phone or on the computer. The COVID testing, they want to mention that's going real well downstairs by the health department. They really staying busy. It's amazing how many people's taking advantage of that. They're there 5 days a week, 8:30 to 12 now. Go in the morning till 12. And if you haven't been through there, or you just kind of been putting it off, it don't cost anything to do that. You don't have to get out of your car. Just drive up there. They got a little form you fill out. And it is a nose swab now. You'll be swabbed, and then you go on your way. Now the waiting period, from what I understand, has increased. Before it was 3 to 4 days, and now it's is it like 8 days, isn't it, or something like that? 8 to 10 days, and you'll be notified, online. They don't call you anymore. They'll take the information and they will notify you either via text message or online whether you're positive or not. So there's no reason not to get checked if you feel like you need to be. Let me see here, make sure I got all my pretty much everything there. We'll go into our numbers now. We do have we went from 77 to 79 in Dade County. That's a little bit of an increase since last week, but all in all, if you figure up the actual numbers, the people that have already went through the 14-day period, and also the people that we know that are out there now back to work and we've probably roughly got about 15 people in the county now that really are actively have it. Walker County, they went from 363 to 389. Catoosa County, they went from 334 to 371. Chattooga County, they went from 76 to 84. Whitfield County, they went from 1,520 to 1,978. That's a pretty big increase right there. Of course, they're a large county. Gordon County, they went from 470 to 598. Floyd County, they went from 654 to 784. And there's still 1,664 people or unknown cases, addresses that have not been tied to counties in the state. And that kind of fluctuates up and down, but that's There could be several in there that belong to us or Walker or any of the counties. So that's what the unknown is. Deaths, total deaths in the state of Georgia, we have 3,091 deaths. Last week at this same time we had 2,922. So that is, the increase keeps going up. Moving to Tennessee, Hamilton County. Last week they had 3,319 cases. This week they have 4,137 cases. And now with that, they've had actually 2,229 recoveries and 39 deaths. Now, active cases right now, according to what they're saying, there's 1,453 active cases right now in Hamilton County. Marion County, they went from 100 last week, and they went up to 120. Right now they have 39 active cases in reality. They've had 61 people recover and 4 deaths. Grundy County, they went from 72 to 78. They have 10 active cases with 56 recoveries and 2 deaths. Sequatchie County, they went from 55 to 69. They have 21 active cases and 33 recoveries. Midge County, they went from 48 to 54. They have 10 active with 30 recoveries. Bradley County, they had 977 last week. They went to 1,233, and they've had 611 recoveries, but they have 479 active cases with 4 deaths. Alabama, moving down to our neighbors in Jackson County, they went from 374 last week. They're at 515 in Jackson County. They've had 3 deaths. They've had actually 269 cases reported in the last 14 days. That's a lot. That's a lot. I can see now, if this is just a couple of counties in Alabama, I can see now why she's actually the governor have actually went to a mandatory mask throughout the whole state. I think that, I'm not sure when it takes effect, but I know I saw it on the news yesterday. DeKalb County, now they went from, this is another big one, and this is another close neighbor here. Last week they were at 841. This week they're at 1,185 in DeKalb County. They had 493 cases test positive cases in 14 days. And they've had 7 deaths in DeKalb County. So, that's something, how it's really changed down there in Jackson and DeKalb. Just appreciate everyone, trying to work and even though it's not mandatory, to wear your mask. I see a lot of people that do. They're out there trying to do what's right, and also the actual the 6 foot distancing. A lot of our churches, most all of them are actually practicing that, and we appreciate that. And just try to be careful. I mean, it's just turn your TV on. That's the first thing that comes on the news. So some people say it's not real. It's real. Trust me. And but the only way we have really of combating it right here at home is to wear that mask and do your distancing. And so, Carey, you got any questions or anything going on? I mean, on that as far as
Not on COVID.
Okay, all right. You want to come on up? Or okay, Tommy. Okay, all right. We got the sheriff's department here. Tommy Bradford just walked in, and he's got all kind of news just written all over him. I can tell by the way he's smiling. So, come on up, Tommy.
Actually, I don't have a lot of news, which is good news. So, the only thing I can really talk about is the heat. If you got to be out in it, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, get in the shade as much as possible, and get inside as much as possible. But other than that, we've been privileged enough to stay kind of quiet. So that's about all we have as far as to report on. So.
And they can reach you at
706-657-3233.
Thank you. We do want to round out this weekly update by reminding you to do your census, to fill your census out. So we do have a complete count committee here in Dade County. It is comprised of different people in the community, people from the city, from the county, from the school board. So we do have different people on the committee. working to help spread the word about the census. And if you're wondering why it's important, it's because the census numbers equal dollars in funding for our county for things like schools, for nutritional meals at the schools, for roadways, for emergency supplies and funds to our county in the event of an emergency. There are 3 ways that you can fill out the census this year. You can fill it out in March. They sent out paper, so if you still have your mail from March, you might search through there. You might have a paper that you can fill out. You can also go online at 2020census.gov and fill it out. It takes literally 2 or 3 minutes to fill it out. We have a link on our website to the census. It's not hard to do, so please fill out your census. Or another way you can do your census is to just call on your telephone. You can use a landline or a cell phone, and you call 1-844-334-2020. So that's 844-334-2020 to fill out your census. Currently, we are at the halfway mark, so 50% of people in Dade County have filled out their census. We would very much like to see everybody fill out their census. In the 2010 census, only 61% of people in Dade County filled out the census, and that means that nearly 40% did not. And that resulted in a loss of approximately $145 million in funds to our county. So as you can see, that's a really big number. That's not money that we want to lose when it can be helping our community. So please fill out your census. It also helps us with things like representation. So another thing that people ask about the census is, is it confidential? Yes, it is. Even though it is a federal bureau, they do not disclose any personal information with any other federal agency beyond the numbers. So the numbers is what they share. They don't share anything else. A lot of people also don't know this. One of the first places that businesses and industries go to look and research about communities is the U.S. Census Bureau. So they go to the website, they look up the demographics of a specific town or area to see if that's where they want to put a restaurant or an industry or a business. And if the numbers are below 20,000, then there's a good chance that the company is not going to move to that area. They're afraid they might not have enough people to hire in as employees, or they might not have enough revenue if they're a service business. So currently, we have about 16,000 people in Dade County. That's the last time the Census Bureau did an approximation, was in June of 2019. They said we have approximately 16,000 people. So if we're underreported, then it can stop growth, positive growth in our area. So please fill out your census today at 2020census.gov or by calling 1-844-334-2020. And if you're interested in being on the census committee, please call me at 423-290-6655. We don't meet often, but we do events and we do talk about how to spread the word about the U.S. Census. So give me a call at 423-290-6655 if you would like to be on that committee.
Okay, good report. Appreciate that. As I said before, this the COVID-19 it's still here. I don't know that we're even in the middle of it right now. I know most of you out there that have children have been keeping up with our schools, and they are starting back. It's on the 7th, right, Carey? And if you're not really up to date on that, the school has a really good website you can go on, or Carey's got a lot of information there. Next Thursday, I want to try to get another visit from Miss Jan, or Superintendent Jan Harris, or someone from the school system. I think they'll have maybe a little more details. I know they're working, daily to try to get everything nailed down. And I know if you can between now and then, if you've got any questions that you want answered while we're on the air here, while we're talking, while Jan, whoever represents him, comes in, that's what we do at the end, And so just jot them down, and we'll be glad to, if you don't have the answer, get an answer for you. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I hope this is informal You get a lot of information out of this. And my number is 667-8999, area code 423. Commissioner's numbers are on the line there, and go on Carey's the website there. And if you feel free 24/7 to call me, I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. So we'll see you next Thursday. If anything comes up between now and then, as always, we'll come right back on here. We can come back on instantly because we're here to try to keep you informed and be as transparent as we possibly can. So thanks a lot.